So these heads, I think I advise against designing on, I advise against designing on heads that are facing the camera like this. So I will not be commenting on these ones. Let's look at these ones we did here. Um, this is, yeah, these are interesting. You drew the head again. I wonder why you drew the heads again because, what's his name? John Ventura already had the heads drawn, so you could have just taken the heads. But I guess it's because you're drawing digitally. Sorry, you're drawing this digital. Yeah, this is digital. So you didn't need to draw the heads again. You should have just taken his heads the way they were. Should have just taken the heads the way you drew it, and do your hair on top of that. I don't see any references for this hair. I don't even see any references at all for anything. I asked for you to send references. Maybe you didn't see the message. I need to see references. Very, very important. So that I can know where you're drawing your inspiration from and be able to see if you interpreted those things in interesting ways. The bow tie concepts is not bad at all. This is not bad. But I don't know I don't know if that's culturally appropriate, so I can't really comment on that. This hair that is out here, where is it coming from? Like, because my assumption is that the hair, like she wrapped her hair like this. So where's that hair coming from? Is it from the top? And if it's from the top, it has to feel like it's from the top. So it has to feel like it's from the top like that. And this excess cloth here, I don't understand, because my assumption is she wraps. So you have to think about the logic of what you're doing. So if she wraps the cloth around her head like this, her forehead like this, and then this, so the excess cloth maybe goes to the back, or maybe it goes underneath and comes out from the back. But if it goes underneath and comes out from the back, then will it form this way? So I'm not really sure, like, what's happening. How is this hair? How is this wrap? How is this wrap made? You have to look at the logic of the wrap, because I'm not really sure of how it was created. Yeah, pay attention to how things are wrapped. I know it's a wrap, but it doesn't mean that we should just draw it anyhow we like. You have to also be logical about your wrap. This hair is cool, but it's very, very generic. Like, this is a very, very generic hair. It doesn't feel. Remember, this character is from a steampunk age. So imagine this character should be able to fit into an arcane. That's how you should think, because Abigail is a mentor character in a scientific age in the 1900s. So, is it 1900s or 1800s? Like late 1800s. So it's kind of like steampunk setting. And the hair, I'm not really sure. That's why you need to get references. I need to look at what you're looking at. If you can show me old school hairstyles for black people in a steampunk age, like in the 1800s, the late 1800s, then I'll buy this idea. But by looking at it, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this guy. This one is more believable, but this one is not so believable. This one is more believable. I like the shape, language. I like the shape language here. I like that it feels like it has a particular shape. I appreciate that you actually, drew this thing in a way that I can imagine the shape. If I was to model this thing, I can imagine the shape. And then this is a good way to complement it with the rough curls. I'm not sure what's going on here, like, if she has loose hair coming out from here. I'm not sure about that. But if there's loose hair coming out, yeah, I like how you have this one coming out here, this little one here. But I don't think you should have a lot of hair coming out from this side. I'm not really sure about that. Yeah. This wrap also works. Yeah, it kind of works. But again, does it fit a steampunk age? That's what I'm not quite sure about. But I mean, to be honest, if I was to pick one hairstyle, it'd probably be this one. And this one is a very, very a safe choice, because a lot was not really like, I don't have a very interesting lineup of hair and hairdresses. If the lineup was more interesting, it would have been harder for me to pick. But yeah, this is probably what I'll go with. I'll probably go with this one. If this is number 4, I'll probably go with number 4. Number 1 has potential, but I don't really know what is happening with inside here. And then also, it would have been nice to see your Sunesis adoption. Like if you use some symbol, some symbols, shaped languages, and things like that. It would have been nice to see that. But yeah, like I said, this is a very generic lineup. It can be a lot better. This one is cool. Again, this looks very, very literal. Like, it looks too literal. Too literal. And I don't see, I've seen this thing a lot. Like, I know where you got this reference from. Like, I know Caribbean, Afro-Caribbeans look like this. People from Colombia, Haiti, what are the other, St. Lucia, part of them, Trinidad and Tobago, and those kind of countries. I know they dress like this, but this is like way too literal. Like, in a steampunk age, this thing, I don't think it works. You could have really pushed and tried the Sunesis method for this thing, to see if you can come up with something we've never seen, something we've not seen before. This is really, really generic and literal. Like, I've seen this so many times. Like, these are literal, but the shape language is nice. Like, I like this body. Like, this is a very cool body. I'm not gonna lie, the body is fantastic, but the outfit, though, man, is very generic. You can do better with this outfit. What's up with the arms? Like, this hand, I know this is not a body class, but there's something funny going on here. Her arms cannot be like fat like this. It has to be something like that. Remember, this hand is foreshortened. The lower arm is foreshortened. And remember what I said about arms. If this is your shoulder, elbow, and wrist, it's almost creates like an isosceles triangle. But of course, this is in 3D space. So what oh, sorry, this is foreshortened, the lower arm. So what we're looking at is somebody whose hand is like this. This is her shoulder, this shoulder, her elbow is here, and this wrist is here. So it's foreshortened. But this one is supposed to be longer. This part should be longer than this part, which is what you did. but then the elbow, the placement of the elbow is not correct, and then it's too fat, like it's too thin. Even though I know that this hand looks like she has a fat elbow, like a thick elbow, like that. But so if I was to follow what you did, then like if I was to follow your style of a thick elbow, then I can do that. But you still have to be careful how you, because her hands are thinning out, so her elbows. Yeah, something like that. All right, so yeah, like I said, this is too literal. Like your design is 100% literal. I was looking at, if somebody could do something like 50% or even 60% literal and then 40% imaginative, Sunesis type stuff, because this is the genre of this thing is fantasy sci-fi. So sci-fi fantasy, you need to push beyond. If you look at the outfits, the way people dress in Arcane, for example, yes, it's grounded in the sense that Western stuff, but they see a lot of room. They play around with a lot of imaginative things. So that's what I was expecting. Again, this is like really, really, really literal stuff. Like it's too literal again. This is like maybe this is like 100% or 95 or 99% literal. Imagine if you could do like, even if it was 80, even if it was 70, let's say 70, even if it was 70% literal. So 70% literal, again, I don't have references. If I had references, I could have been able to demonstrate how you can transcend your references. But this is very literal, just a skirt, like long skirt. Yeah, I know this is casual. So casual can kind of work, but ceremonial, no, no. Ceremonial is a no, no. It has to be. You have to push it, like push 60% or 70% literal, 40% or 30% imaginative. So yeah, that's my feedback for this. It could have been way better.